So welcome back, everyone. We are live on Facebook. So hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We will share the show later on. My next guest has been on with me several times. I mean, like I'm talking about years. I have with me Howard Farkash, and he is a financial service insurance professional. And when you're listening to this, I want you to just remember these words. Just call Howard. So here's what I want you to do is, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your firm.
Well, good afternoon, Carol. It's a pleasure being here once again. And basically my business is, well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Native of Chicago, came out here in 1997 to assist my parents in their retirement, and somehow have continued with that theme out into the marketplace itself. What I do is I focus my agency, my insurance agency focuses on seniors basically, and we talk about their health needs, their health financing needs, as it were. In other words, Medicare. And then we also talk about care beyond Medicare into such areas as long-term care. We also talk about retirement rescue or retirement update. Those are the things we talk about. But I thought today we just might spend our time taking a look at the process of going onto Medicare. A lot of times I get telephone calls from people saying, give me a quote on some Medicare insurance. And that's a little bit like walking into a automobile showroom and saying, give me a quote on a car. It has to be something much more specific than that. We have to get down to the nitty-gritty, and people have to understand what Medicare itself is composed of and the process to go about getting Medicare insurance, basically. What decisions need to be made long before you take a look at pricing and long before you look at even the names of the carriers. Now, we deal with the specific large carriers that everybody is familiar with, and I must tell you that by law I must give you a disclaimer, and that disclaimer says I do not represent all the insurance companies marketing to seniors in this territory, in this state, but I do represent the key carriers. If you want more information, you can call up 1-800-Medicare and ask for further information from those people just as well.
I want to tell you something about Howard. You are the most, what I know about you is you are the most meticulous, the most, he will ask you a lot of questions, right?
I do.
You do, but there's a good reason for it. Howard has been doing this since 1998. So he does know what he's talking about. And what I love about you, Howard, is that if anybody has any questions, you will get an extensive answer back.
That's so very true. And not only have I been doing Medicare since 1998, but I'm on Medicare, so I understand it from both the inside as well as the outside. But today, as I mentioned, I want to talk about the process. The first thing that you must do when you're ready to go on Medicare is you must appeal to the Social Security office, make an enrollment through the Social Security Administration. I have a white paper on how to do that. I won't go into the details now as our time is limited, but there is a process for going on either the telephone, a personal visit, or a online signing up for an account. That gets you into basic Medicare. And by the way, for most people, that has a cost associated with it. And that cost is $174.70 in this calendar year. Next year will go up, but it has not been announced at this point in time. So those of you who are interested in mathematics, yeah, 174.70 to start. By the way, if you are over a certain income level, and that'll be laid out in my white paper for you just as well, over that limit you will start to pay an upwardly progressing surcharge. It's called the IRMA. And you'll learn more about that in my white paper. By the way, if you are a low-wage earner and you are on Access, or Medicaid as we call it here in this state, you will pay less than the $174. In fact, you may not pay anything at all. So the first thing to do is to be sure you get signed up with Medicare 3 months before you want your effective date.
You know, a lot of people think this is the senior season, that's for sure. But somebody turns 65 every day.
10,000 people a day.
Every day. So the first thing is that you need to make sure that you know what you're doing, and this is a free service to you out there. So it just makes sense to speak to somebody who can help you, helping you step that, and by the way, step by step, I know that's the way you do it.
Yes, very much so.
You help them.
I guess as some people would say, baby steps first, and the first baby step is to get yourself the keys to the castle. That's your Medicare identification card. You must have that. Then you get to decide, oh, by the way, that card will get you 80% of your bill will be paid, but there's 20% still hanging out there, and there's no drug coverage under that $174 premium that you're paying. So you have a decision to make, and that's whether you want to be a Medicare Advantage kind of a person or you want to be a Medicare Supplement kind of a person. And as I outlined in my white paper for you, there are 4 options. 3 of them are Medicare Supplement oriented, and the 4th option is Medicare Advantage oriented. Now, the reason I call it to your attention is that you have the opportunity to see a lot of different brokers. You'll bump into us brokers all over the place. I always thought that the economy was made up of people trying to sell insurance to one another. But in reality, what we really see is that there are 2 different types of brokers: those who want to get a sale and those who want to make sure you get the product that is absolutely right for you. So therefore, when I work with people, I do bring all the options to the table and let the client, customer, prospect make his or her decision. I do not have a quota for one product versus the other. I simply go out and introduce and educate people to the types of products that they can have and help them make a decision that is best going to meet their needs. Part of that questioning that we talked about earlier was a needs analysis. What do you need? What do you want? What's your health like? What's your finances like? Because Medicare is the intersection of wealth and health.
I do want to give out your phone number. Again, this is a free service to you. The number is 602-909-8433. Now, I know we're talking about people signing up and things like that, but also this is Medicare season. Can they talk to you about that as well?
Well, we're going to talk on the second portion of our program here.
I'm a little ahead of him.
Thank you very much, but that's fine. We're going to talk about the review process.
Okay, what's the review?
We are right at the beginning of the annual review season. We thought this year was going to be a tough year for reviews, that there were a lot of influences on the Medicare industry, as it were, that was going to result in a lot of changes. Preliminary information, I've been working on this now for about a week because the data for 2025 just came out on October the 1st, and I'm finding that in certain parts of the country, yes, there are some massive changes going on, but we in Arizona got hit relatively light by comparison to some other parts of the country. So the review process itself gives people the opportunity to look around and see if they want to change plans or keep their present plan. Now, their present plan will change. It doesn't stay the same. Copays, drugs covered, formularies, deductibles, things change year to year. But that's why you're motivated to go out and see if you can do better. If you can find a plan that has all your drugs. If you can find a plan that has those drugs at a lower cost. One of the differentiators in our agencies is we don't tell you your drugs are covered. That's a pretty easy task. But we tell you where your drugs are covered, which plan has your drugs covered at the lowest possible cost.
And let me tell you, go ahead.
And that's pretty important.
I'm going to tell you something, I have to say it, because I know what you do is you've taken all of the medication, you write it down, and you research. That is what you're all about, to find out where you're the best place, the best plan for you, so that you don't have to pay a lot of money, which is what it's all about.
Roger all that. You did that right.
Again, it's a free service to you out there. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further about this. It is your season, seniors, and also anybody that's turning 65. You start by getting the key to the castle, he said, the card.
Well, that's right. You get your card, and how you get that card is laid out step by step, once again, in my white paper. Call and ask for that white paper, 602-909-8433.
I'll give it again. It's 602-909-8433. We're going to go to a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk further. Please, this is a free service to you folks out there. It just makes sense. Don't try and do it on your own. Again, it's 602-909-8433. You can ask for the white paper right from there. We're still live in the room.
Yes, we are.
We're going to keep on going.
Yes, I think that worked well.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that worked very well.
Yeah, because I let you talk.
Pardon me?
Because I let you talk.
Yeah, well, I had
What do you want
lift-
to talk about now?
I had to lift myself off the ground, but I think I did.
You're fine.
Yeah,
You're doing
yeah.
great.
I don't know.
Okay.
Looking for messaging. Yeah, it will be. I think. Don't do it yourself. Call for a pro. If you don't call for me, call for somebody else.
Okay. Well, we want
I
to
think
call. Just call
ask,
Howard.
Right. Just call Howard. That's fine. Also, a second white paper. How to select a good representative.
I love that one.
Right. The first white paper we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So you know what? Number one, what was your number one tip for people to the question that they should ask to find a good representative?
Well, I told you that once.
I don't. Just tell me again.
Right. And the answer to that is, it's really a complex of issues all going together. It doesn't really. I don't have that data in front of me right now.
No, but
It's
there's a lot of
complex,
different
right.
things, but
they
there's.
they should ask, do you offer Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement? And
Right.
I'll get through it. You can toss it to me. I'll get through it.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
You know it because you've been doing it for so long. But no, you don't have to answer that now on air.
Right.
You know, right now I'm doing it on Facebook, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to know for you, obviously the first question is to find, I think when they just interview you and talk to you, they can hear it. It's gonna come, they're
You
gonna
could-
resonate with you.
You could create language as, hey, interview Howard, see if he's as good as I say he is, okay? You know, and here you
Yeah.
can, and he has a white paper for you to interview him on.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect, okay, do that.
One minute.
I gotcha. Yeah, I know. See the difference? Smoother.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you have chemistry.
Yeah, well, that's another thing, but that comes in time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I can't help it. Those are things that happen.
It's okay.
I can't help it.
Don't worry about it.
I tell them to, too. I tell them not to. I don't understand it. Okay, you ready?
Sure am.
So welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Howard Farkash, and we're talking about Medicare. There's someone 65 every day, and if you want step-by-step of what to do, he's the person to call. He is what I would say the most meticulous person I've ever met, and he's all about helping you understand what you're getting yourself into, because everybody's got it pretty much. Does everybody get on Medicare?
Just about.
Just about.
Just about.
And so if you're going to do it right. Now, just call Howard at 602-909-8433. You've got this white paper that you've been talking about, and I want you to talk about
Well, I
it.
do have a couple of white papers out, as a matter of fact. One of the important things, I think, if you're coming into the Medicare market, you're going to want to find a broker. And what's the best way to find a broker? Occasionally you'll ask a friend, a neighbor, or relative, but does that make that broker a good broker? Things may have worked out well for that friend of yours, but maybe your personalities are not exactly right, or maybe your friend or neighbor or relative didn't know how to evaluate that and just took what came down the street, as a matter of fact. Look, when you're looking for a broker, you're looking to hire somebody. Hire somebody to do a very specific job for you. Now, if you were hiring somebody to work in your business, you would interview that person. And so what are the questions you should be asking? Well, the questions that I've laid out in the white paper are available to you. All you have to do is call, once again, 602-909-8433. Leave your name and phone number and tell me which white paper you want. Because the second white paper reviews the process I went over a few moments ago of how you actually go on Medicare. So let's remember that at all times just as well.
Yeah, well, I would just leave a message and just say that you're interested into one of the white papers. If you're looking to get onto Medicare, the newest one is all about that. If you're looking to interview one, that's the first one that came out.
Interviewing a broker is very, very important.
Because
you're not talking about a one-time transaction. You're talking about forming a relationship, and that's what we do with my agency. We form a relationship that extends well into the years, basically. We are your advocate. We are your health financing advocate. We will help you with billing problems, for example. And that's not necessarily universally true of other agents or brokers that are in the marketplace.
Again, you can just call Howard, and the phone number is 602-909-8433. This is a free service to you. Get the white paper of your choice, and you're going to be happy that you did.
Let me comment on the status of plans here in Arizona, basically. We have very good Medicare Advantage plans. I've seen others in other parts of the country, and they're lacking. Their networks are a little bit short of what they should be and things of that nature. And that has caused national problems, which has found their way to Congress to be resolved and solved. But we're much more fortunate here. So any decision you make, as far as I'm concerned, is going to be a good decision as long as you understand why you chose an advantage or why you chose a supplement. And you probably are going to have to wind up defending your position to your friends, neighbors, and relatives who made the opposite decision, okay? But in reality, you have your needs, your wants, your desires, and how you want to handle the risk to your health. The other things my agency does is we go beyond Medicare, care beyond Medicare, one product of which is long-term care. Don't think you're too old to get long-term care. There are specialized products that are available, and I don't have a white paper on those, but I'll probably get one pretty darn quickly.
I know he will.
And we should talk some of those opportunities, because if you've been shot down on long-term care in the past, we might be able to correct that. So let's take a look at that. Don't be shy. Let's have the discussion. Let's talk. 602-909-8433.
Why is it so important that people don't, number one, do it to themselves, don't ask their neighbor what they're doing? Why is it also so important that they do not just call a number on television?
Well, that's a good question. The reason you shouldn't do it yourself is that it's complicated. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know the traps. You know, there are rules for Medicare, but the rules are easy to understand. It's the exceptions and the exceptions to the rules. It's a little bit like reading a tax manual, for crying out loud. It's not as straightforward, and there are penalties that you can incur, some of which are lifetime financial penalties if you mess up, if you don't register on time, do it in a timely basis. If you get into a type of plan, you may not be able to get out of a type of a plan. So those are things that you need guidance on. And I've been doing this, like I said, since 1997, and I've been on it for a pretty long time myself.
Now, just call Howard. The number to call is 602-909-8433. Ask for the white paper of your choice. It's a free service to you. It just makes sense. Again, it is Medicare season right now, that's for sure. But there's somebody that turns 65 every day, and there are questions that people have over and over and over again.
So if you have lost your broker and it's time for your review, feel free to give me a call. Let's see if we can help you out. I think we can, but let's chat about it, basically. If your broker has gone missing, AWOL, moved to a different territory, let's take a look. Don't try it yourself. It was great when you had your broker and he took great care of you, or she took great care of you, but now they're gone. I promise you that I will take great care of you.
602-909-8433. You know, Howard, there's so many questions when you said a lot of people have been saying that there's going to be some changes, a lot of changes. You're saying that I want people to hear that might be tuning in, that it wasn't as bad for the Arizonians.
The changes were not as impactful.
Thank God they gave us a break.
Well, I think it's because mostly we have a highly concentrated personnel population, basically, and we also don't have that many people in the outlying areas, And we've got well-designed products here. I take my hat off to the various carriers who work hard, and they're doing their very, very best to give value. You know, there tends to be a split. You know, there's people who are pro-Med-Sup and people who are pro-Medicare Advantage. But in my mind, I've looked at them both. There is a place for both, but it's your decision, not a broker's decision. And by the way, in case you're interested, a lot of brokers push Medicare Advantage because there is more compensation to a broker for Medicare Advantage. We don't do that. We show you what's available and you make your choice. There are some plans, there are some supplement plans which I make preciously small amount of money. We kind of call that gasoline money. But it's your money, it's your health, and you should do things your way, as long as you understand what it is you are doing and the consequences. This is nothing more than risk management.
And with Howard, you're going to understand. I love the way, I had a question one time about something with Kenny, and I said, you know, I asked you the question, and I got an email, I think it was about 4 pages long, okay, but it was so well explained.
And that goes to your question of why you shouldn't do it yourself. Because
right, exactly.
Even a simple question has many little facets that need to be considered.
And that's the way you are. You make sure that people understand all of the facets of Medicare, of the question that you're asking.
Excellent.
Just call Howard. The phone number to call is 602-909-8433.
And I'll give it a shout out to, as long as we have some extra time, be sure, no matter who you are, whether you're on a Medicare supplement or a Medicare Advantage plan, make sure you take care and go for your annual wellness reviews with your physician. We'd rather catch problems when they're small and inexpensive than large, deadly, and expensive. So get out and do yourself some good, okay?
Well, you know what? It's at the end of the year. Sometimes a lot of people do that. It's interesting how they are. And instead of doing it in the beginning of the year, they wait. And they put things off. A lot of people are procrastinators out there. We know that. But you know, right now, if you haven't gotten it's a free.
It is free. There's something like 33 or 35 different items which will be checked off. Now, this is not a physical examination. That is another deal, okay? But it's called an annual wellness exam, and a lot of people are missing them, okay? And they're presenting with big problems, which is a shame.
So just call Howard. His phone number to call is 602-909-8433. This is a free service to you. Do not do this on your own. And there's a really good reason why, especially this year of all the years. There's going to be some questions that you're going to have. Just call Howard and he'll answer them explicitly to you. That number to call is 602-909-8433. And again, do not call the people on television. You're going to get you're inundated. Right now, everybody's getting inundated because it's that time of the year.
That's so very true. The folks on the 800 lines, they mean well. Many of them are recent hires. Don't have their yet.
Joe Namath ain't calling you back, though. I hate to tell you that.
But Joe Namath is now doing hearing aids. Okay, so Joe's not out of work yet.
So I did want to say something too. You know, when you call those 800 numbers, those people out there, they have one carrier, and you don't. You have several. You have things that you can help people choose from, and that's a big difference as well.
Well, that's obviously true. That's what a broker does, has many carriers, and tries to shop for the best product for the person that needs the product.
Just call Howard. His phone number to call is 602-909-8433. There are 2 white papers. The first original one is all the questions that you should ask to find a good broker, and it's the ones that you want to ask through him. You'll figure out all of those that he thinks are the top questions for people to ask. The other one is how to get onto Medicare in the first place.
Hey, call me and interview me.
Interview him. You can. All you have to do is give him a call. Tell him that you want the white paper. The number is 602-909-8433. This is a free service to you, whether you're on Medicare now or whether you're getting on Medicare. Give him a call. Just call Howard at 602-909-8433.